Hello, this is Sam. My topic is Voice of Reason. And I want to start by the disclaimers first. The first, I am a black man. My wife is white. Our son is black or biracial. Our daughter is white. And my brother serves in the military. Therefore, I try my best to put myself in the shoes of a black child, a black parent, a white child, non-black parent, and as a person or individual in uniform. So I will intentionally use the terms black and non-black because not all people are white. We have Asians, we have Hispanics, we have Europeans, and many other people that may not be black and they are not white. So when I say non-black, I refer to all other people except the black people. So today I just want to first acknowledge that there are many good white people out there, and there are many good police officers out there in this world, and we cannot ignore that. So today I'm going to start by my thoughts and also my advice to the non-black people out there that have been asking, what can we do to help? So I believe firmly that all of us have a little bit aspects of or elements of racism, biasness, nepotism, sexism, and all tribalism, depending on where you are from. The difference is whether an individual is going to do one's best, or even individual, a person does their level best to subdue and overcome the vice of racism, or do we let the vice of racism overrule us and control us? So with that being said, let me say I am going to ask some very uncomfortable questions, and I'll get started with the things that I think that I can talk to the non-white people, non-black people first. So first of all, to all people, why do we have identification, race identification in the job application? Is it really necessary? Is it mandatory? Do we need it in the 21st century? Or can we get rid of it and just apply for jobs without identifying your race? And to the parents out there, have you ever invited a black child in your home to spend time with your non-black child as he or she was growing up, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years old? You know, that's very significant. And I'll tell you why down the line. Those of us who have children in high school and the students in college, did you ever make an attempt to hang out with a black child or somebody else who didn't look like you? Did you ever listen to the stories that the black children gave about growing up, their experiences and their exposures? How do they make you feel if you ever did so? Have you ever taken time to check the experiences and the academic level of the folks that you work with? Have you ever asked them how they got the job they own now, or the people in authority or in power on leadership positions, how they got those jobs? So have you ever asked yourself why some organizations have very few black people, especially in high-paying jobs and also in the management spectrum? You know, have you ever taken time as an adult to sit down with 5 black people at different times and ask them their experiences in life and their encounters with the police officers? You know? So these are some of the questions that I want to pose to you guys as we continue, to figure out what we can do to improve race relationship in this country. First of all, let me say that it must start from you and from me in order to bring this problem into rest. We have to make an attempt, especially right now. There is a lot of protests and things like that because of George. We need to make some attempts instead of dismissing and assuming and just pretending something about this death did not happen, and start saying, we've all been pulled off by police officers. We've all experienced something like that. The police brutality is a myth, as I heard somebody from black community say. Or these frequent stops that you guys talk about is just a normal thing that happens. Instead of trying to assume that and trying to think that these things that not happen, I encourage you as a non-black person to try your best, because you asked, what can you do to help? To try your best and sit down with a black person. Not only one, not only 2. Just try to do 5 black people. Ask them about their experiences with authority. Ask them about the experiences with the police officers, and you'll be shocked by what you're going to hear. But if you rely on CNN and Fox to tell you about the race in this country, you'll never be able to find a solution to this problem. You have to get it from the grassroots and talk to the people who have experienced it in order for you to understand it. The other thing is that we have to start educating our children early enough. As they grow up, when your child is 5 years, we need to start teaching them. Black people, white people, Asian people, we are all human beings. For you white people out there, or any other non-black people out there, just make an attempt as your child is growing up. Invite a black child in your child's birthday party, or maybe in some event your child is involved in. Let those children spend time together. Let them get to know each other. Let those children start building a good rapport to one another. Let that child know that a black child is not different than your child or the other person's child. These are some of the things we can start doing from a tender age. You asked, what can I do to help? What have you done to help so far? How has been your relationship as you were growing up in high school? Did you ever have a black person, a black friend, to ask, what are your experiences, and sympathize and empathize with that person? I'm not saying that if you're white, you need to feel sorry because you're white. You don't have to apologize for being white or being black or being any other color. But it's just trying to understand and learn the other person and know why they do things the way they do them. And know who they are as a person. These are some of the ways you can start helping. And as a country, we need to reevaluate another aspect of job application, whereby somebody has to identify themselves by their race before they even get a job. How about we get rid of that portion of application whereby you have to identify your race? Some people say, oh, the government needs statistics. How about we have a simple form whereby an employer at the end of the year can fill and say, hey, I have 100 employees, 10 of them are black, 10 of them are white, 10 of them are Asian, and identify people at the end of the year. And if the government want to collect that data, they can collect it that way. I feel like it's discriminatory to start asking about somebody's race even before they get the job. Because if somebody is not used to a different race, and we all have a little bit elements of racism, it's hard for this person to say, I'll hire this person versus the other person. The other aspect I was thinking about is the HR department. You know, most of the jobs is, who do you know? And that's why I started asking, have you ever asked your friends how they got the job that they have? Most of the times, almost a half of the people that I talk to on frequent basis is that before I got this job, either my cousin was working here, or my friend was working here, or somebody I knew that had referred me here, or somebody I went to school with. You know, so it goes on and on and on in that list. But if you're from a black background, whereby there are very few black people, especially in better paying jobs and all that, most of these people never get a chance even to get the interview for the job. Most of these people, because even if they get an interview, they don't get much consideration because, hey, if I'm an employer and I have somebody who has been referred by somebody that I know or somebody that works with me, most probably I might be tempted to hire somebody that is known by somebody that I know. So if we can try our best to talk to our HR and try to figure out some of those areas we can improve on hiring and retaining our employees. The other thing is mentorship. I've seen some jobs whereby a lot of it experiences is on job training. So if you are not being trained in your job and all that, people look at you and think you're not good enough in a certain job. Well, the people who have mentors. And this is whereby the black people are so marginalized because you don't have a lot of people working in different areas, in different bigger departments, in better paying jobs. So some of these things are things I think we can be able to work on as a community. And HR department can improve the hiring and retaining and mentorship and educating the employees and the departments on how to hire not only people who are non-black but also blacks, to give them an equal opportunity, equal chance. To my fellow black community, I know the death of George is very painful. When I watched it, it sent a lot of pain in my body, in my soul, in my spirit. I was furious. I was angered. I felt a lot of anguish. I could imagine that being my son one day, being held down for 8 minutes, gasping for air. It was painful. And we all feel it. I understand the initial pain and distress most of us felt. However, as time continues, I think we need to start working hard in our communities, even as we protest and all that, to try to talk to our people, not to destroy our communities and the places we live. I know the protests will be there. People will be loud. Yes, we can be loud and still don't destroy the property. The other thing is that we are feeling also. We need to vote. Most people don't vote. Black people, you need to wake up. If you want the justice, you must go for it. Protesting is one way. However, as a black person, you have to get up and vote. I came here as an adult, and I've already voted several times. So all of us need to get up and vote. The other thing is that we need to make it clear what we want. You know, as we talk and debate about what is going on in this country, you can be loud, but also have a purpose of what you are loud for. Can you identify some areas whereby the police department in your area can improve? Can you identify some areas you feel? You know, when we say, yeah, police brutality, but also we need to go down to our local areas and see what are some of the rules and regulations and protocols that the police follow there, or the state or the federal government. Let's be very specific. Let's not generalize things. The other thing is that Obama left a platform whereby in 2015, there were some recommendations that were made on the task force about 21st policing task force that he formed. So let's fight for those reforms. Let's see what happened. At least we have the body cameras the police use. Let's also figure out what else was done. Let's also demand for the government to continue working hard again to establish and find out what else can they do to improve on police relationships with minorities, especially the black communities. Let's also challenge one another as human beings. Let's also love one another. Blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians, Europeans, whatever we are all human beings. Let's know all life matters. Let us save lives. Let's not kill lives. Let's show love to one another. Let's embrace each other. Let's work hard in art. We all have police officers, military officers, whites and blacks in our families. Let's get united. But let's also change our culture. Let's change how we see the black people and the brown people and those people who don't look like us. Let's look at each other's eye and say, I love you. I care for you. Your life matters. You are important. You are needed. And let's be a team. And this world will be a better place to live. Thank you.